Welcome to Doing More. I'm Erica Cardenas. Although February is known as a month for romance and Valentine's cards, it's also a month that celebrates courage, faith, hope, and resilience, and recognizes the contributions of African American men and women who sacrifice their lives for rights and equality for all. Black History Month began as Negro History Week, labeled in 1926 by historian Carter G. Woodson. Carter earmarked the second week in February because it covered the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln. It's a month to commemorate and create awareness of the contributions made by African Americans. Each February, the South Chandler Self-Help Foundation celebrates the contributions of African Americans in Chandler, Arizona, from the first African American mayor to the rich history. And we're here at Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church, where it all began.
Sometime in the fire, sometime in the fire.
We're now celebrating our 30th annual Black History Celebration, rooted in faith, anchored in hope. And that's really where we are, because everything that we've done, it's been a faith walk. I've lived in this city since I was 4 years old. My great-grandfather was the first African American to live here in Chandler. He came on his own. He was born from a slave mother and ended up here in Chandler. I've got his voter registration papers. August the 20th, my oldest daughter's birthday, 1920. People coming from Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, to work, coming from under that sharecropper thing. Billy Woods, who ended up being my father-in-law, I married one of his sons. He was going back to Texas and Oklahoma, bringing those families and men, in some cases, to Chandler, Arizona, to work in the cotton. Spirituality has always been a big part of the African American community. Praying together, there was about 10 of them. They would just kind of pray together and sing and whatever. And then they ended up building a little shack, pushed it on a wagon over here and set it up, and then built around, and it ended up being this. There were a lot of places that hired kids after school, but they weren't really hiring African American children. So Fran wrote a program, and we ran it right out of the church. There was a need to clean up some of the properties around here, and the city funded it through a community development block grant.
Churches, no matter what color or what denomination, all came and supported us and helped us to clean up that neighborhood. We got grants, the city gave us grants from the CDBG funds. We had other grants too, and we cleaned up that neighborhood.
The South Chandler Self-Help Program started about 30 years ago, and we've been working with them ever since with the events they put on around Black History Month. And those events have been held every year at our Chandler Center for the Arts. We want to make sure the African community understands that they are a vital part of our community.
I want you to know that some of us were here. I want you to know that my grandfather was one of the first businessmen in this town. I want others to know we're worth something. Come and get to know us.
The South Chandler Self-Help Foundation's mission is to foster community development and create and preserve affordable and diverse housing opportunities in Chandler through education, training, advocacy, and development. For more information on the foundation, head over to their website. We'll be right back after this.
Doing More, a celebration of Black History Month.
Welcome back to Doing More. We're here at Chandler's Black History Celebration, Rooted in Faith, Anchored in Hope event. This annual event celebrates the accomplishments and achievements of African Americans. Did you know that Black History Month originally started as only a week-long celebration? Then by 1960s, during the Civil Rights Movement, it turned into a month-long recognition. So by 1976, President Gerald Ford made Black History Month official, which now is celebrated nationally. Due to the African diaspora, countries like Canada, Ireland, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, the Caribbean islands, including other countries, also celebrate Black History Month. Now let's meet a Virginia military veteran putting smiles on his customers' faces through his homemade biscuits.
I joined the military back in 1986 when I graduated from high school. At first I didn't know what exactly I wanted to do, but I was always a tinkerer with my hands. I've always been a cooker. I've always cooked at home. Even growing up, I would be the one that stayed in the kitchen with grandma and watch her, drop biscuits and make cornbread and things like that. So I've always been a cooker. I've always loved to be out on the grill cooking. That was always in me. That was always in me. As a CB in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, Gitmo, you were tasked to keep up the vehicles that were there. And a lot of times we didn't have the resources right away, so we had to engineer things. A lot of things we had to engineer. We had to make do with what we had. It's still rewarding. It gives you an opportunity to see places and people and things that you probably would never ever see. And as far as me working at Hardee's being a biscuit maker, I tell you what, come on down. Let me teach you how to make biscuits, because I guarantee you'll enjoy it. I do, every day. Every day. I love it.
Tony has been here at Independence, the biscuit maker, for about 10 years now. He's done real good. He won the Biscuit Regional Challenge and he's won the National Challenge, so he's done a real good job with the biscuits here at Independence Boulevard. A lot of people think biscuits is very easy. Just, making biscuits at home is hard, and a lot of people don't realize that. But it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of heart. That's the major thing. You got to have a lot of heart to do biscuits, because you got to have to want to do it. Attitude, because if you don't, you're not going to make it, because biscuits is really what we're all about.
I do come here every morning and I get my biscuits, and he just makes a big difference. He's in the category by himself, and you can tell, and I can tell these are made by him, because they're just different.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Y'all enjoying your biscuits?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are. As always.
Born and raised on a farm down in North Carolina. My mom made biscuits daily, Monday through Sunday. And when I migrated off up here, I found these biscuits to be kind of like a duplicate of what my mom made, and they're awesome.
Biscuits puts a smile on your face.
By me being in the Navy and being a mechanic, it never dawned on me to, be in the restaurant business or anything like that. But like I said, I love to cook. And this was an opportunity for me. And now I love doing biscuits. It's great. It is one of the best jobs that I've had, believe me.
We traveled to San Diego, where we visited an organization that's serving individuals, families, and veterans who are transitioning from homelessness into a warm home. Take a look.
When the family comes home, they express such joy, and they're crying and laughing and jumping, and it's wonderful to watch. And we know we've only been there a few hours, but we know it was where it was when we started, and what we're giving them as a foundation for their future. And I recommend that anyone who hasn't experienced this go on to humbledesign.org and look at the videos of people finding these homes, and you'll want to be calling and helping immediately.
I started Humble Design really through a friend of mine who was in need. I was volunteering at a nonprofit and I met the woman who ran the front desk. And she was wonderful and lovely, but I soon found out that she was homeless. She was able to secure housing, but she had nothing to furnish the home with. And when I went to go visit her, it broke my heart that her and her children were sleeping on the floor with the little nest that they had made with their coats. So I knew how much excess I had in my own home, and then I knew how much excess my neighbors had. So I began asking for furniture for her, and I soon became known as the furniture lady. And that was the birth of Humble Design.
Choked up during this application process. I had to fight back tears. I had to go take a drink of water. They find out what you want deep in your heart, and then they make every attempt to give that to you.
If there's only one thing that people need to know about helping the homeless, I would say that everything that you give to them, you will receive back. And you will go away with a sense of well-being and happiness for what you've helped to do. And they go forward in a much more secure way and a way for their family to truly have joy.
Hoya Cosmetic Surgery Center. Jesus, you guys are amazing. Thank you. Muchas gracias. All of you, amazing. Wonderful work, wonderful. You've changed my life. I can bring my kids here, and everybody who doubted me, they can come here and just be like, you know, Michael has a home. That's right.
Humble Design is always collecting gently used items for the home. To donate, visit their website. We'll be right back.
Doing More, a celebration of Black History Month.
Welcome back to Doing More, where we shine a light on the good things happening in our communities. We're at Chandler's Black History 30th anniversary event. Now, did you know that Martin Luther King Jr. was an American Christian minister and activist who became the most visible spokesperson and leader in the civil rights movement? King is best known for advancing civil rights through nonviolence and civil disobedience, inspired by his Christian beliefs and the nonviolent activism of Mahatma Gandhi. We also made a stop in the city of Escondido and visited a conservancy helping humans and nature prosper together. Check it out.
Traditional conservation groups tend to remove humans from the conservation equation. Humans live in ecosystems, and in a lot of cases, humans have the power and the control to help conserve ecosystems. So we have two major program areas that we focus on. One is we build fuel-efficient stoves in developing countries, and the other is we're designing and building aquaponics systems here in the United States.
What we at EcoLife Conservation hope to communicate through aquaponics is that there are alternatives to growing food that would greatly reduce the impact modern agriculture is having on the planet. With aquaponics, we can grow a wide variety of fish and plants using a fraction of the resources. Inside this fish tank live 120 Mozambique tilapia. The waste that they produce will be converted into a natural fertilizer for our plants. The plants, in turn, will take up that fish waste and purify the water for the fish. The synergistic relationship between fish and plants is what makes aquaponics such an efficient means of growing our food. So we are constantly working to increase food access in our community. The bio-intensive nature of aquaponics allows us to plant these plants a lot closer together, which enables them to share all of the nutrients in the system. Our plants are growing directly into the water, which prevents them from becoming root bound as they may become in the soil. We're also not losing any water through evaporation or seeping into soil.
This is our EcoCycle Aquaponics Kit, which is a great tool for demonstrating a variety of things to students in a living, learning laboratory. We can talk about nutrient cycling, chemistry, ecology, all in one hands-on system. We're also distributing our aquaponics kits to classrooms all over the United States. With our stove program, 3 billion people around the world cook on open fires, either in their homes or outside of their homes. It's like having a campfire in your kitchen. As you can imagine, it poses a whole host of threats to the family. These fires are extremely inefficient and contribute widely to deforestation around the world. And so we come in with a stove that is culturally appropriate and safe to the family that reduces fuel wood use by up to 60% or more. We're building these stoves around the monarch butterfly biosphere reserve in Mexico to protect butterfly habitat. The monarch butterflies migrate all the way from Canada to central Mexico where they spend the winter. And if those forests are degraded or destroyed, there's nowhere for the butterflies to spend the winter. So these stoves help protect butterflies by reducing fuel wood harvest in those forests where the butterflies live. And if we can revolutionize the way that we're growing, distributing, and cooking our food, we can all play a huge part in making the planet a more sustainable place to live for us, for our children, and for our grandchildren.
While in San Diego, we visited an organization empowering the homeless through the Wheels of Change initiative.
Step up, just call me, KB.
So, you know, we're coming to your community to clean it up. You know, we're breaking that stereotype of what a homeless person is, this subculture of society. We're just brothers, sisters, mom, dad, grandmas, and grandpas being part of the solution instead of part of the problem.
So, ladies and gentlemen, left-hand side. Don't forget weave in and out of cars. No jaywalking, ladies and gentlemen.
So it's a win-win for everybody.
See any cigarette butts, pick up cigarette butts. But ain't no race, y'all.
The difference between Alpha Project and others is, as I said, we have 2 elementary schools here, a half a block away from us. We maintain those campuses. We mentor those kids. We make sure that there's no drug dealing, drug use, encampments around their facilities, or anywhere in our neighborhood. We self-police, and that's all a testament to the folks here that used to be out there.
Here in San Diego for over 50 years, raised in Chula Vista. Went to Bonita Vista High School, class of 77. Have worked all my life since 1975. But suddenly in 2016, the winter, we had that flu that came through. Over 300 San Diegans died. I apparently was struck with it. And through whatever complications happened, as it turned out, I had a stroke. I was bleeding in my brain and I lost all muscle control. It's a nightmare. And it just suddenly happens, as it can to any American. And it's one of the things you never think will happen to you, but it can.
Let's go.
KB wants us to be safe. He wants it to be fun, if at all possible, but we're also communicating with each other in the field when we're out there, taking care of San Diego, and we're cleaning it up.
Society as a whole and citizens, certainly San Diegans, are so willing to help if they can see positivity, if they can see change, if they can see a reward or benefit from that help. Wheels of Change is the perfect example. You know, these are $5 donations, $10 donations to get our people out there, and they can see these folks making a difference. They can see the pride that our folks have that are here, not only cleaning up the communities, but mentoring peer-to-peer with the folks they've maybe been camping with for 20 years.
On behalf of Alpha Project, good job today. For the Go Do Lunch, good job. Appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen.
When they come back in from work, it's phenomenal to see, you know, homeowners came out and say, hey, we're so happy you're here. God bless you. Businesses coming out bringing waters. And to have these communities come and neighborhoods come and embrace you, say thank you for being here, I mean, that's a huge paradigm shift.
The shelter residents also provide peer-to-peer outreach with other homeless individuals to connect them with housing and other services. What a great way of doing more. We'll be right back.
Doing More, a celebration of Black History Month.
Welcome back to Doing More. I'm sitting here in front of Zeta Phi Beta sororities table who are actually celebrating their centennial year here at Chandler's Black History Celebration. Our final stop was New England, where we had a chance to visit a foundation that is dedicated in empowering children to help others. Take a look.
Hello, my great guys. I love you guys. My name is Alan Sean Feinstein, and I'm the founder of the Feinstein Foundation. Feinstein Foundation was established to make youngsters feel they were special and make them do things to reach out to help other people. Feinstein Leadership Schools, I think there are 176 now, and they're schools that really pledge to make junior scholars, to encourage their youngsters to reach out and do good deeds for others. We supply them with journals for their youngsters to keep their good deeds in.
Math was always my strong suit, and I enjoyed it, so I just wanted to help fellow students. And I did that for a few years in high school. So one of the high school guidance counselors came to me about the Louis Feinstein Memorial Scholarship, and it was for people who were doing some kind of public service, which I was doing the tutoring, and people who were going into the public service field. So I was going to be an educator, and I always tell my students that when Mr. Feinstein comes to visit, that it's because of him that I am able to do what I can do.
This is our treasure, the children that we are going to leave behind us. And I am been privileged to play such a role in their young lives. See you later, alligator! Every time you do something that makes somebody smile, you make the world a better place, and that makes you a very special person.
I'm here with Gwen with Zeta Phi Beta Sorority
Incorporated.
And we want to thank the Chandler, Arizona community for having us to an event filled with faith, hope, and resilience. Black history belongs to all of us. The impact African Americans have made in the U.S. has made a global impact. The year 2020 marks the 150th anniversary of the ratification of the 15th Amendment, which gave Black men the right to vote. So much sacrifice means we must value the vote. In honor of a great leader, let us all hold our dreams up for the world to see and our hearts to embrace. I'm Erica Cardenas.
And we'll see you next time.